Hey guys, today we're going to be taking a look at a packet capture in Wireshark here. We're going to be correlating some IP geo stats and just taking a look at the scan in general. So the first thing that we're going to do here is get this filter, which doesn't come default with Wireshark. You actually have to install it. So the first thing that we're going to do here is we're going to go here to MaxMind and we're going to sign up for a free account. Again, this is a free account. You don't need to input any credit card information, anything like that. You just fill out a little first name, last name, email address, that kind of thing. And then you'll be redirected to here, which is the actual account sign-in page. And then you can head over to the download databases section. And then from here, you're going to see the ASN, city, and country zips. We're going to download the actual zips and not the ones with the CSV format. And after they get downloaded, you're just going to extract them and you're going to put the primary files into their own folder. I'm going to show you here, but I have this off screen. Here we go. This is what this would look like. So we just have these MaxMind database files here that I all put in the same folder. All right. After you do that, you're going to open up Wireshark here. You're going to go to Edit Preferences. On Mac, this might be a different location, but you're going to go to Preferences nonetheless. And then Name Resolution. And right here you see MaxMind Database Directories. You're going to hit Edit. This is showing up off screen here. And here you can see that I pointed it to that folder that I was just mentioning, right? The Downloads Geo folder here. At this point, you may need to restart Wireshark for this to actually take place. But from that point, you should be able to see this here, the source GeoIP section with ASN numbers and all that good stuff here under the IPv4. All right, so here we have the scan open and we see something that looks a little suspicious, right? We see a bunch of SYN packets coming in from all of these different source IP addresses coming in to the internal network. So they're doing a scan, right? They're trying to see what is available. They're checking out port 80, port 1986, all from these different IP addresses here. All right, so now what I want to do is I'm kind of curious where these are coming from. So I want to come over to here to this bottom section and expand IP4, and then under the source geo IP, I can, let's see, I'll just choose this one, right? And here I see this is coming from China. I see this 2-letter country code. I see the latitude and longitude. The ASN number, where is that? Where is that? My eyes might just be looking right over it, but the the geolocation is here, is nonetheless, right? So now what I'm going to do is I am going to head to statistics, endpoints, that showed up off screen. Head over to IP4, and then see these are the internal, or these 10 dot addresses are not going to show up with any geo location. You see here this country, city, latitude, longitude, ASN section here. So I'm just going to keep scrolling down, and this is where you start actually seeing this getting filled out. We see Belgium, we see the US. I'm just going to keep scrolling. China, Germany, the UK, more US. You get the idea, right? So just just to play with this a little bit, you could actually see this ASN number here, 4134. I'm going to head over here and just look up 4134. Oops. Look up this autonomous system number here, and here we get a bunch of addresses that are related to China. And I'm going to go an extra step just because and look up 60, 180, 2358, 60, 180, was it 180? 60, 180, 23, 60. Maybe it's showing up off screen. This is a very, very long list. It's probably why it's not finding it. Regardless, if this list was a little bit shorter, you wanted to actually granularly go in here and look, you could find the IP address the IP address prefix relative to the location here. So I'm going to come back here to Wireshark, and here we can actually do something a little bit more interesting as well. And let's select map and then open in browser. And here we get a heat map of all of the locations that came in and performed that scan on our devices. If I click one of these, you see it's extending here. Sorry, there we go. It's extending here with all these different IP addresses, or you could just hover over it and you can see the IP addresses coming in from that particular area. And this is really cool visually to look at, so you can actually understand where this is coming from geographically. So I'm going to go ahead and close this now and show the last couple things here, which is that you can also right-click this and prepare it as a selected filter, close this, and down here we get this country code, right? Now that was me just searching for something from that country just to get here to this 2-letter country code, which I can also prepare as a selected filter. And you see up here it's the IP geo source country equals CN. Now we could replace this with US or anything else. I'm going to go ahead and run this filter so you could see. This is all the incoming traffic, all the incoming SYN requests from that country. If I replace this with US, we get the same thing. So this is a pretty interesting way to take a look and see about which IP addresses are coming in. You can get the heat map correlated, and you can see what's actually coming in on your network and where it's coming from. So you can make the appropriate security decisions based off of that, something like blacklisting IP addresses or ranges or anything like that. I'm going to go ahead and cut this for a moment and come back with another short clip. Okay, had to take a little quick break there. So something that we can also check from this is we can see the amount of unique IP addresses coming in. Let me see if I remember where this is. Yep, listed right there. 5,865 different IP addresses coming in. And then we can also see how many packets went back and forth from the top conversation here. If we sort by bytes, we can see that this is the most bytes traversed in the conversation from this IP address to this IP address, coming in with 32 packets coming in at this size here. Some other things that we could take a look at is, let's say that we want to find out the location of a particular IP address. I'm just going to find an IP address right here and make sure that I have the correct syntax down here. It's ip.source. So ip.source. Let's go with this IP address here. Oh, I think it's because my caps lock is on that this is still red. There we go. Okay, so now we have filtered all this just by this IP address, external IP address coming in here. And let's see, you can also see, based off of the identification numbers of some of these here that just so happen to be back to back, like these. Sorry, these two. That this is just a bunch of it's just scanning coming in. They're going incrementally up, right? So 55, 56, 57. And so this is, you know, we could look up this IP address and we can see this is coming from the UK. So now we have to get the syntax for this, right? So what is this? ip.goip.country. So we're going to apply this as a filter up here. Selected IP, okay. And we're going to change this. So this shows us all coming in from the UK. And let's just check that this is applicable to other countries as well. We have nothing coming in from Turkey. What about China? I searched earlier, China shows up. Okay. I'm also going to show the TTL field for the first packet here, which you can see the TTL is at 123. So you either have a TTL field by default of 64, 128, or 255, right? So you could see here, like this was set to 255. These are clearly 128. Perhaps some of these in here are set a little bit lower, but each time that a packet hits a router, it decrements by 1. So it's, you know, when it hits the first router, it goes from 128 to 127. So you can see here that it just incremented down to 123, 118. So you can kind of see how far away some of these IP addresses are coming in from if you really take a look here. So here, also taking a look just at some of this data, you could also see that this IP identification number for most of these is the same identification number, right? Now there could be multiple reasons for this. One of them could be that the packets are generated via a script or a tool for a specific purpose. Like in this case, it's coming from a bunch of different IP addresses. So this is like a denial of service or a distributed denial of service attack. And the tool is just setting the IP value for all packets to be the same identification number. This could also be coming in this way because it's a spoofed IP address. Someone's generating these packets with different source IP addresses to target the same endpoint. They're not going to be randomizing the IP field as seen in these different packets here. Another thing could be that there's like a misconfiguration on, you know, a network device, like a router or a firewall that's mishandling packets and packet forwarding, or there might be network address translation assigning the same IP identification number to all these packets, but due to a bug or a misconfiguration, something of that sort. But in this particular instance, because we're seeing a bunch of different IP addresses coming in from a bunch of different countries through different ASNs, different latitude and longitudes. This is definitely an example of a DDoS attack coming into the network. Alright guys, thank you so much for checking out the video. That's going to be it for me here today. Feel free to check out my channel and see if there's anything else listed that might interest you. You may also check out my GitHub profile and see if there's any documentation there that might interest you as well. Peace.